Hello, I've decided to do my week 1 presentation on generational differences in the workplace. In this presentation, I just want to touch on a few ways the generations differ and what managers can do to keep everyone working well together. Just a couple facts. Many baby boomers today are finding themselves reporting to supervisors who are younger than themselves. Baby boomers spent years as the most coveted generation, but they now feel as though they're being pushed aside or pushed out as we're going through a time of great pressure for higher corporate profits and an increased need for sophisticated technical skills among our employees. According to a 2018 article from Pew Research Center with 2017 U.S. Census data, there's currently 5 generations in the workplace. The oldest would be the silent or greatest generation, born in 1945 or earlier. In 2017, they made up only 2% of the U.S. labor force. The baby boomers come next, who made up 25% of the labor force in 2017, but they're going to continue to shrink as more reach retirement. They're considered competitive, and an important aspect is their mindset that workers must pay their dues before achieving any success. Generation X made up 33% of the labor force in 2017. They have no problem asking for a raise as their primary motivation is a good paycheck and benefits. Millennials, also referred to as Generation Y, made up the largest percentage of the U.S. labor force at 35% in 2017. They want to understand how the work they do fits within the big picture of a company to know that what they're doing is meaningful. Then the post-millennial generation, they were born after 1996. Oldest of the group is now of working age, which is 16 according to Pew Research Center's definition. They made up 5% of the U.S. labor force in 2017. Unfortunately, these differences between the 5 generations cause conflict that leads to argument in the workplace. This can influence how the business is run, how employees are treated, and how career goals are met. A journal article from American Waterworks Association points out that something is not quite right with how different generations interact. Stereotyping the generations is considered the root cause of generational conflict at work. The older generations are stereotyped as the good generations, while the younger generations are stereotyped as bad. As long as these views exist, it's going to be difficult to get the generations to work well together at work. So how do we manage the different generations and get them to work productively together? My opinion is that both employees and management must recognize the differences and any issues they may cause and then work to eliminate the stereotypes. So an article from Forbes offers research based on CFO phone interviews where they were asked about the differences. Results showed that communication skills are where CFOs see the greatest difference, with adapting to change close behind, followed by technical skills and then cross-departmental collaboration. I think communication and technical skills go hand in hand with how the generations were raised. Many people think the generations born with technology at their fingertips don't have as strong verbal communication skills, but they can work a computer with no problem. Forbes also offers the idea that baby boomers are perceived as more reserved, while millennials like collaboration and in-person work or interaction. Generation X and millennials are known to view change as a way for new opportunity, while many believe baby boomers to be cynical about change. When it comes to technical skills, research showed that baby boomers and Generation X prefer to learn via traditional methods like instructor-led courses, while millennials prefer collaborative training involving technology. As mentioned, employees also need to play a big part if there's going to be any change here about the generational differences. First, each generation must identify the mistakes they've made. When you identify mistakes, you gain wisdom or knowledge, and you can share that knowledge with one another. Maybe a baby boomer does something incorrectly. The next day they see a millennial doing the same thing wrong, so the baby boomer should point that out and pass that information along. This ties into the next idea that the elder generations must realize that they have a role as teachers and mentors to the younger upcoming generations. So doing so will allow the younger generations to learn and be more prepared when leadership roles and opportunities arise. On the other end, the younger generations must accept their role as followers. The younger generations must show that they're trainable, flexible, self-motivated. Each generation must acknowledge and respect each other's differences as opportunities for self-growth. As a manager, they can foster collaborative work between the generations. So one way is to put a mix of generations together for a team project. Maybe the younger generations tend to stick together or vice versa, so a little push to mix it up can help things get things in the right direction. Also, the younger generations may not feel as though their ideas or skills are wanted by the elder generations, so make sure as a manager you give the younger employees opportunity to share their ideas or skills. And then lastly, a manager should just try to recognize the strengths and personalities of everyone and try to manage in a way that can help bring out everyone's personal skills, anything they can contribute really. And then a manager can help unite the generations by getting them to work productively together and understanding the employees at an individual level. So basically, I just think to eliminate the stereotypes, we need to get employees and managers involved, and hopefully, get these generational differences in the workplace to work well together. And then here are my references, and thank you for listening.